This video is going to go out to Alicia Seaman, and apparently it's also going to have to go out to Kawaii RKHK, Niwo, and Natalie Styles. And here's the reason why. I saw a video. It was a music video, and it was called Beautiful. The singing was wonderful. The video was done very tastefully, so that was not the problem. The problem was the lyrics. Okay, and I addressed that in a response video. Now, what was the problem with the lyrics? The lyrics go something like this. Oh, woe is me. He doesn't notice me because I'm beautiful, and he doesn't know that I'm even there. Why? It's a whine video. Why? I see 7-year-olds whine like this. And I'm sitting here going, really? Okay, so here was my response. My response was, why don't you grow a brain, go up to this guy, try to have a conversation with this guy, and see if he's intelligent enough to get involved with? Why is that important? Because if you get really involved with this guy, and you find out that he's not very bright, and he has no intention of becoming very bright, then what's going to end up happening is that he's going to have nothing but retail jobs, if he can find a job at all. And you're going to live on Poor Street the rest of your life. And how attractive is that? Not very, I can tell you that. So, like I said, what I was trying to do is say, grow a brain, have an intelligent conversation with this guy. If you can't do that, dump him and go to the DJ. Okay? And the reason I say that is because even the YouTube channel called Hot for Words says intelligence is sexy. It is. Trust me. Especially if you go through financial hard times. Intelligence is very sexy. Ignorance is bliss unless it potentially tries to kill you. So, there you go. Now, you would think that everybody would have a positive feedback to me on this. I was wrong. So that's where we bring up Alicia Seaman. She says, no one cares about your opinion. Whoops. There's a mistake. A lot of people care about my opinion. This is the gal that never checked out my channel, never saw my video saying 600 subscribers, didn't watch that video or read the comments underneath. A very unobservant person. Okay? We'll get into that in a little bit. First, it's called Beautiful. There's the first mistake. She's assuming that I'm a complete idiot. Obviously, I'm not. If you people went to my channel and you saw all the videos I've posted, you would know I'm not an idiot. I know what the title of this song is. Alright. It doesn't matter about stupid balloons and lockers. Oh, yes, it does. Okay. What are balloons made out of? They're made out of latex. Yes, this is the very same latex that gives dermatologists a very big nightmare. Okay? On two fronts. Number one, it can cause massive skin allergies in certain people. And that can be very painful and very embarrassing. But it gets worse. If little toddlers get a hold of latex balloons and they swallow them, because they like to chew on things, it could be a choking hazard. It can kill kids. That is true. That's why they came up with a new material called Mylar, and now with little kids they use Mylar balloons instead of latex. I don't even suppose you know where latex comes from. It comes from the sap of a rubber tree. That's where it comes from. So, it is a health nightmare. Not for everybody, but for some people. And the thing is, you don't know which people are going to have a health nightmare from it and which ones don't. So yes, it is something you should worry about. Now, as we all know, most people today use helium to inflate balloons. But there are some idiots in the world that inflate balloons with hydrogen. Now, helium is a totally safe thing to have around. yes, if you inhale enough of it, it could become a health problem. But as far as it's not flammable, okay, so the flammable part is okay. But hydrogen is highly flammable. Okay, that's why they use hydrogen in hot air balloons to lift them off the ground. Now then, if you were to fill a whole bunch of balloons with hydrogen and have them near open flame candles, you could have the towering inferno in minutes. And ask those wonderful people in Chicago about the 1903 theater fire they had. You can imagine what kind of a disaster that could be. So yes, these kind of details are important. Now you say, well, what about the lockers? Okay. In today's society, we use modern paint to paint lockers. That's true. But if you're talking about buildings built before 1978, you're talking about lockers that were actually painted with lead paint. Now, I really shouldn't have to go through an entire video explaining how deadly lead paint can actually be, especially if it chips off and peels off. Get the picture? You say, well, we don't have to worry about lead paint today. All the schools have been converted. Oh, no, they haven't. As a matter of fact, according to the Natural Resources Defense Council, 37% of California schools still have lead paint and lead pipes in their schools. So you could inhale the lead from the lead paint, and you could be swallowing and ingesting the lead from the lead pipes. That's a problem. Now, if that's a problem in California, can you imagine what it's like in the rest of the country? Now, I know that they are doing the best they can to try to get all this lead out of every single school across the United States, which is a good thing. But here we are in 2012, and we still got lead in the schools and even in some of the workplaces. So you see what I mean about a problem? That's something environmentally should be brought up. That's intelligent thinking. Alright. It's just a video. No, it was a statement. And I made a counter-statement to that video. And no one cares about the history of schools. Oh, I think you should. Let me tell you something. If you said to everybody, hey, I come from the same school that Justin Bieber came out of, that could be a good thing for you. Employers might think very highly of that. But if you were to say, hypothetically, that you came from the same school as Lindsay Lohan, employers might be going, I wonder what kind of education you got. You see what I mean? It's all based on that. And no one cares about the history of schools or the history of stupid lockers. Well, I think I've stated the cases why you should care. It's about your health. But hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it until you have to deal with some toddler sometime, whether it be for babysitting or if you ever have a kid on your own. Don't worry about it until then. Don't worry about it until your health bills go up because of exposure to lead paint or exposure to lead pipes. Get the picture? Lockers change, yes they do. People use modern paint nowadays, but the question is, since we're no longer using lead paint, what are we using today? Do you know? Have you ever checked it out? Maybe some of the stuff that's used some of the stuff that's used in paints today could be just as bad as the lead paint that we got rid of. You don't know. There you go. You went to school like about 30 years ago. No, it's only been about 24 years. I'm not quite that old. Things change. Yes, they do, and sometimes they get worse. Now we have a society that's so full of smartphones, okay, that people pay so much time, they get so engrossed in their smartphones that now they are no longer aware of the traffic that's coming right at them that could potentially hit them and kill them. And I would not be the least bit surprised if I read the papers one of these days about somebody who got struck by a car while paying too much attention to a smartphone. That would not surprise me at all. So there's my answer to you. I feel like you're wasting everyone's time. And she goes and calls me a creep. Okay, well, I got another piece of information for you. Do you know the potential employers read comments like this? And when you stand there and you misspell words because you're used to texting, they look at that and they're like, oh man, do we have to really spend thousands of dollars to retrain her because she didn't learn anything in school? They say things like that. I know that's a really surprise to you, but they do. So now I'm going to go ahead and give you a spelling lesson. Obviously you need one. This is how you spell the word yes. This is how you spell the word because. And this is how you spell the word school. I'd take notes if I were you. Alright, now, that was the first comment that Alicia Seaman sent me. Now, I sent some information back to her, and she writes this. Yeah, because they are idiots. Okay, I have a lot of very intelligent people that come to my channel. Shoot, even Dan Brown commented on it. So, no, you're wrong on that. They don't even watch your vids. I've been watched over 200,000 times. So yes, I have been well watched. You're just not paying much attention. I did go to your channel, by the way. You have less than 10 subscribers and hardly any views. I bet you'll get a lot more views after this. They are probably all oldies like you who have nothing better to do. Really? Why don't you go to my video entitled 600 Subscribers and look through the comments and see who commented on my channel. You'll find out there were people younger than me that actually are about as intelligent as I am and actually commented to me. So that's wrong. Also, those balloons obviously didn't harm anyone. You're right, they didn't. But one of these days, some idiot's going to grab some hydrogen instead of some helium. He's going to float up a bunch of balloons, and he's going to put them against open flame candles. It's going to start a towering inferno. I could just see this happening. Why? Because people are getting more and more engrossed in those smartphones instead of in their own brains. Their brains are practically in the cloud. Now, I know you've heard about the cloud. Now their brains are being sucked into the cloud, and that's bad. I don't care if someone famous attended my school because they have already, and guess what? No one cares. Employers do. And she doesn't have the money in the world to spend it on a music video just to make sure some stupid lockers no one cares about are new. I know that. That wasn't the point of my response video in the first place. So again, you missed the whole point. She is just a girl trying to make her fame, and she will unlike you. Well, as soon as she realizes what I've really said, she probably will like me. And even if she doesn't, there's a lot of other people that will. Because they think it through, and they begin to realize what I've said. Now then, let's go to some of these other comments. Kawhi RKHK says, you don't have to send it to me, I don't really care. You should. Niwo, yeah, I don't care either. You should. And then, Natalie Stiles, why are you screaming? I am not screaming, I am enthusiastic. That's not a scream, that's enthusiasm. I wish more people were as enthusiastic as I am. And then you say, by the way, you are a creep. Okay, I am not a creep, I'm an intelligent human being trying to give you guys some better ideas. So to conclude this video, I'm going to say this. When you have a guy that's not noticing you, go up to him, try to strike up an intelligent conversation. If he doesn't respond in an intelligent way, that's a good indication you probably shouldn't get too involved with the guy. Instead, you should go find somebody else, because if a real crisis comes up, this is not the guy you want to be around. Now, he may change, he may get more intelligent, and if he does, then he's a good candidate for a potential marriage. That's what dating's all about, is to try to find the perfect person that you can live the rest of your life with. Obviously, people miss that too. So, and as a matter of fact, they had an episode of Saved by the Bell that clearly illustrates all my points. It was the one where they had Johnny Dakota, and everybody was just swooning over Johnny Dakota, only they found out that Johnny Dakota was a drug addict. When they found out that, they were like, I don't want anything to do with this guy. You should watch that episode. Then if you put it with my framework, you'll begin to realize everything I've said. So, hopefully you all got the message this time. I didn't think I'd have to go back to preschool to try to explain all this to you, but apparently I did. That's all I've got to say on this. If you didn't catch it, I'm sorry. But there you go. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.